You're listening to the Dirt Racing Podcast.
Hello and welcome to this edition of the Dirt Racing Podcast. As we cover local tracks, of course, we will start with the Marshalltown Speedway on last Friday evening. We'll start with your modifieds. Picking up to win the 48K, Colin Hibden. Second, the 5 of Todd Shute. Third, the 10 CK and Carter. Fourth, the 72 Colton Osborne. Fifth, the 43S to Scott Simonovich. Dustin Canoing in the 56 was 6th. 7th, the 5G Gat Lathrop. Luke Cyber in the 101 was 8th. 9th, the 93N of Colton Nelson. 10th, the 95N of Garrett Nelson. Luke Bird in the 88 was 11th. 12th was Brett Ramsey in the 12. 13th, the 333, Rob Sharapata. 14th, the 40 RC of Rod Clement. And then 15th that did not finish was the 28T of Trevor Fitz. In the stock cars, your winner was the 1X of Caden Carter. Second, the A1A of Austin Kaplan. Third was the 19 of Jimmy Gustin. Fourth, the 49 of Kyle Olson. Fifth was the 30M of McGuire DeYoung. Sixth was the 69 Jonathan Logue. Seventh, the 94 Steve Meyer. Eighth, the 23 junior Michael Jeanette. Ninth was the 41 of Thor Anderson. David McCullough in the 3 was 10th. Tyler Pickett in the 5A was 11th. 12th was the 34N of Thomas Nelson. 13th was the Tyler Ball in the 9B. 14th, the 18J Jocelyn Elmquist. 15th, the 15D of Jason McDowell. And 16th, it did not finish the 7B of Braden Carter. In the sport mods, your winner was the 29 of Colton Lizzie. Second, the 01 of Braden Carter. Third, the 19J of Janae Gustin. Fourth, the K3 of Kyle Olson. Fifth was the 57K of Ryan King. Dalton Sorak in the 22D was 6th. 7th, the 198 of Sam Weedman. 8th, the 18 of Jocelyn Elmquist. 9th, the 4C of Dylan Cherry. Kidser Ellis in the 30 was 10th. 11th, the 37 of Rob Jennings. 12th, the 69K of Caden Rice. 13th was the 99S of Sarah Rose Gary. 14th, the 7 of Will Wolf. 15th, the 40HC of Hunter Clement. 16th, the 151 of Bo Jenkins. The rest did not finishes or did not start. 17th was the 43 of Braden Shepard. Jacob Ashley in the 33 was 18th. 19th was the 8 of Tom Lathrop. Brady Homer in the 22 junior was 20th. And credited with 21st and did not finish or did not start was the 22H of Kurt Homer. In the hobby stocks, your winner was the 2G of Bradley Graham. Second, the 2 Kevin Stadler. Third was the 7B of Eric Stanton. Fourth, the 11B of Solomon Bennett. Fifth was the 1K of Tom Killen. Sixth was the 12K Eric with the C Knutson. Ninth was Kobe, the 9 of Cody Saban was 7th. 8th, the 55 of Brett Mosdom. Briar Kriegel in the 17K was 9th. 10th, Cale Cook in 22C. 11th, Braden Fernini in the 7 was 11th. The 12th was the 7N of Trenton Newhouse. 13th was Alex Yeager in this 81A. 14th, 55 X of Corey Vanderwelt. 15th was the 22G of Brad Graham. 16th, 88H of Kel Hemsley. The 40 SC of Scott Ellis was 17th. 18th was Jeremy Dooley in 91. 19th to 17 of Andy Peck. 20th, the 9B of Larry Baldwin. Dylan Hill in the 5 was 21st. The rest did not finishes. 22nd, the 8B of Jacob Floyd. 23rd was the 19X of Eric Knudsen with the K and Eric. 24th, the 51X of Dustin Falloon. 25th, the 17X of Ben Newhouse. 26th was Ray Hill in the 19. And 27th, the 47 SC is Sam West. In the Mod Lights, your winner was the 4G of Ben George. Austin Graham 48G was second. Third, Jackson Carr, the 55. Fourth, the 46Z of Brian Ziem. Joe Glick in the 3G was fifth. Sixth, the 0B of Cody Overbrent. Josh May in the 99 was seventh. Eighth, Tristan Glick in the 5G. Ninth, the 5 of Michael Dominguez. 10th was William Nobles in the 8N. And 11th was the 23 of Seth Barajas. In the Sport Compacts, your winner was the 89 of Christian Grady. Spencer Rosentine in the 6R was second. Third was the 46 of Michael Gardner. Fourth, the 22C of Ryan Cheney. Fifth was the 16 of Curtis Masterson. Sixth, the 75K of Caden Gosselink. Connor Atkins in the 13 was seventh. Eighth, the 22R of Danny Robertson. John Gill in the 02 was ninth. 10th, the 44 of Angela Gardner was 10th. The rest were did not starts, did not finishes, or disqualifications. 11th was the 83B of Mitchell Bunch. 12th was the 33 NK of Nicole Kimmel. Credited with 13th and did not start was the 14P of Jason Peterson. 14th was 21 of Corn Wessler. Disqualified in 15th, the 83 of CJ Wessler. And disqualified in 16th was the 2K of Caitlin Watts. Over at the CJ Speedway on Friday evening, they had late models added to the card. But we'll start with your modifieds. Picking up the win was the 17C of Shane Paris. Second, the 121 of Drew Jensen. Third was 53 of Logan Herbie Anderson. Fourth was 77 of Kurt Kyle. Jerry King in the 70 was fifth. Sixth was the 71C of Troy Cordes. Seventh, the IB 25 of Shane Richardson. Eighth, the 8H of Kyle Houston. And ninth, the 43 of Custom Williams. In the stock cars, your winner was the 05 of 05 Junior of John Oliver. Second was Trenton Witt in the 33. Third was Damon Murdy 99D. Fourth, the 10D of Justin Griffiths. Fifth, the 12N of Gage Neal. Sixth, the C4 Corey Sosserman. Kurt Kinsley in the 21M was seventh. Eighth, the 23B of Adam Bell. Ninth was the 56A of Austin O'Donnell. 10th was the 56 of Kenny O'Donnell. The rest were did not finishes or did not starts. 11th, the 99 of Robert Barnes, or 97, excuse me. 12th, the 23 W. Keegan Wells. 13th, the 826 of Jesse Anderson. James Cummings in the 83 was 14th. 15th, the 33L Luke Phillips. Zane Fellman in the 41F was 16th. and credited with 17th and did not start with a 30 at Dan Brockhart. In the sport mod, your winner was the 117 of Dylan Van Wyk, second 55 of Dustin Griffiths, third the 11X of Cole Vanderwall, uh, fourth the 42 Tyler Hacker, fifth the Levi Lehman and the 10L, sixth the 17 of Trey Rock, seventh the 44G of Levi Gone, eighth was Nick Uppel in the 5A, ninth the 16 of Joel Payne. Sheldon Hubert in the 10S was 10th. 11th was the 9 of Shane Wright. 12th and did not finish the 2 Nick Hickson. And Todd Hansen was credited with 13th in the 21 and it did not start. In the hobby stocks, your winner was the 29N of Nathan Ballard. Second, the 6P of Preston McDonald. Third, the 44 of Brett Timmerman. Kyler Burmeister in the 26 was fourth. Fifth, the 2 of Jamie Hickson. Sheldon Hunter in the 28H was in sixth. Seventh, the 0 of Ryan Hubble. Eighth, the 88C of Daniel Campbell. Ninth, Justin Chamberlain in the 25. 10th, the 12 of Austin Stadler in the 12. 11th, 11K of Levi Paris. Jason Shirley was 12th in the 88 and credited with 13th, 21T of Alex Tips. In the dirt late models, we'll start with the qualifying group number 1. Quick time was the 01X of CJ Horn at a 19:02. Derek Stewart in the 43 was second at a 19:181. Third was Andrew Kosiski in 53 at a 19:328. Dylan Thornton in the 38T was fourth at a 19:367. Fifth, the 93 of Jay Johnson at a 19:424. Jeff Tharp in the 10T was sixth at a 19:464. JC Wyman in the 4 was seventh at a 19:522. Eighth was the 17 of Tim Simpson at a 19:687. And ninth in Group 1, which equals Heat Race 1, was the 72 of Dave Hammond at a 20:09:05. Qualifying Group 2, which equals the Heat Race number 2. Quick time was the 25 of Chad Simpson at an 18:829. Second, the 99 of Jesse Savi at 19:027. Third was the 99X of Dalton Murdy at a 19:096. Fourth was the 56 of Danny Eckridge at a 19:194. Fifth was the 4TW Tim Ward at a 19:341. Bill Layton in 24 was sixth at a 19:449. Seventh was the 15C of Kurt Schroeder at a 19:550. Fred Ramsey in the 42 was eighth at a 19:709. And ninth, the 99D of Daryl DeFrance at 19:997. Heat race or qualifying Group 3 or Heat race number 3. Your quick time was the 33 of Nick Maroff at a 19:227. Dave Eckridge in 56 or 58, excuse me, at a 19:595. Third was the 22 of Charlie McKenna at an 19:636. Jason Haney in 76H was fourth at 19:743. Brian Kosiski in the 52 was fifth at 19:538. Jacob Hofscheit in the 01 was sixth at 19:961. Seventh was the 74 Ron Boyce at 21:03. And eighth, the C15 of Brandon Hamburg at 21:16. Heat race 1 went to Jeff Tharp. Second to Jay Johnson. Third, Andrew Kosiski. Fourth, CJ Horn. Fifth, Dylan Thornton. Sixth, Derek Stewart. Seventh, Tim Simpson. Eighth, CJ Wyman. Or JC Wyman, excuse me. And ninth, Dave Hammond. Heat race 2 went to Bill Layton. Second, Tim Ward. Third, Dalton Murdy. Fourth, Chad Simpson. Fifth, Jesse Sabe. Sixth, Andy Eckridge. Seventh, Fred Ramsey. Eighth, Kurt Schroeder. And ninth, Daryl DeFrance. Heat race 3 went to Brian Kosiski. Jacob Hofscheit was second. Third was Charlie McKenna. Fourth, Nick Maroff. Fifth, Jason Haney. Sixth, Dave Eckridge. Seventh, Ron Boys. And eighth, the Brandon Hamburg. In the B main, we took the top 4 directly to the feature. It was Andy Eckridge, your winner. Second, Jason Haney. Third, Fred Ramsey. And JC Wyman was the fourth and final transfer. They were followed by fifth, Tim Simpson. Sixth, Ron Boyce. Seventh, Kurt Schroeder. Eighth, Dave Hammond. Ninth, Daryl DeFrance. And Brandon Hamburg was 10th. In the feature event, your winner was Nick Maroff. Second was the 53, Andrew Kosiski was second. Third was Chad Simpson. Fourth, Jesse Solomon. Fifth, Dalton Murdy. Sixth, Bill Layton. Seventh, Brian Kosiski. Eighth, Tim Ward. Ninth, Derek Stewart. 10th, Dylan Thornton. Jeff Tharp was 11th. 12th, Andy Eckridge. Jacob Hofscheit was 13th. JC Wyman was 14th. 15th, Dave Eckridge. 16th was Fred Ramsey. Jason Haney was 17th. 18th, Charlie McKenna. 19th, Kurt Schroeder. 20th, CJ Horn. 22nd, Dave Hammond. 23rd, Daryl DeFrance. And 23rd was Jay Johnson. Over at the Hancock County Speedway, they had their first IMCA race of the year. We'll start with your modifieds. Picking up the win was the 2 of Nick Meyer. Second, 74C of Clint Hellstad. Owen Barnhill in the V24 was in third. Fourth was the 10 of Jeremy Mills. Fifth, the Cody Kneck in 49K. Sixth, the 3 of Kelly Shyrock. Seventh was the 75 of Greg Elliott. Eighth was the 13 of Jerry Flippo. Isaac Malicote in the 11 was 9th. Jason Bass in the 4 was 10th. Todd Steinhardt in the 7S was 11th. 12th, the 19S of Chase Weimer. 13th was Dylan Potter in the 3P. Jamie Anderson in the 0 was 14th. 15th, Tristan Visterby. And then 16th did not finish the 75H of Gary Hall. And 17th was the 55 of Larry Hall. In the sport mods, Matthew Loaf in the 9 was your winner. Second, Jake Suckow Suchow was second. Third was Cole Sacco in 75. Fourth was Kobe Fett in 00. Fifth was Alex Fett in 08. Jake Sampson in the 5 was 6. Seventh was Cam Reimers in the 21. Eighth, the 81 of Jared Burmeister. Ninth was Jeremiah Reed in the 9J. Nate Albrandt in the 88M was 10th. 11th was the CB25 of Chris Burke. 12th was Hunter Longnecker in the 93. 13th, Jake Teschney in the 5TJ. 14th was Nate Choder in the 88. 15th, the 79V of Bill Wagner. Kobe Grady in the 2 was 16th. 17th, the 2X of Matt Avila. Ben Ryerson in the 25 was 18th. 19th, the 181 of Charlie Stevens. 20th, the 3V of Chris Webb. The rest did not finishes. 21st, the 85 of Dustin West. Matt Hollerich in the 49 was 22nd. 23rd, the 10 of Cody Summer Grady. And Danny Consieselman in the 4D was 24th. In the stock cars, Heath Tope in the 50 was your winner. Second, Chad Palmer in the 14. Calvin Lang in 43 was third. Fourth, 3 of Kelly Sharrock. Fifth, the 73 of Troy Swearigan. Wayne Land here in the 2 was 6th. 7th, the 14W of David Wickman. Kevin Opheim in the 44K was 8th. 9th was the 47 of Parker Stagel. Lauren Pasica in the 46M was 10th. 11th, 11D of Daniel Ayers. Carter Evans in the 154E was 12th. The rest did not finish or did not start. Justin Ali's in the 10 was 13th. 14th, the 01 of Troy Jarovich. 15th, the 755B of Blaine Hansen. And credited with 16th and did not start was the 11S of Todd Arnstorth. Hobby Stocks. Hobby Stocks. Your winner was the T4 of Brandon Nielsen. Dalton Weepy in the 3 was in second. Third, the 91 of Chris Krug. Jeremy True in the 5K was 4th. 5th, the $25 sign of Joshua Munson. Dan Hanselman in 98 was 6th. 7th, the 3 junior Jace Hansen. 8th was the 48W of Steve Wickman. 9th, 27 of Brandon Shear. 10th, the 88B of Tyler Beckler. Nash Palmer in the 17 was 11th. 12th to 28 of Jay Seidels. 13th to 25 of Jacob Munson. 14th to 20J of Darren Johnson. The rest did not finishes. 15th, the 14L Lucas Smith. Derek Barzloff in the 48 was 16th. 17th, the 4W of Mark White. Josh Seidels in the 99X was 18th. 19th, the 43 of Jade Lang. Drew Barzloff in the 45 was 20th. In the Outlaw Hobby Stocks, your winner was the $25 sign of Joshua Mason. Second, the T24 or the T8 of Brandon Nielsen. Chris Krug in the 91 was third. Bryce Summerfield in the 50 was fourth. Fifth was the 27 of Brandon Shear. Jacob Munson, the 25 was sixth, and the wrestler did not finish it. Seventh, 24R of Roger Harp, and Tanner Green in the 136 was eighth. Over at the 34 Raceway was racing action on Saturday. We'll start with your 305s. Sprints. Picking up the win was the 27I of Tanner Gebhardt. Second was the B8 of John Bernard. Third, the 51J of Ryan Jamieson. Fourth, the 41X of Jeff Wilkie. Fifth, the 16 HD of Ian Stewart. Nick Guernsey in the 7B was sixth. Seventh, the 88 of Radley Scott. Eighth, the 9 of Luke Lane. The 9L Lincoln Martin was ninth. 10th, the McClay Richards in the 31. The wrestler did not finish this. 7th, the 27 of Cody Worley. Matt Krieger in the 56 was 12th. 13th was the 7 of Hunter Lane. And Cale Hummerson in the 52H was 14th. In the modified, your winner was the 10C of Caden Carter. Second, the 9Z of Chris Zog. Third, the 53 of Logan Herbie Anderson. Michael Clays in the 8C was fourth. Fifth, the 05 of John Oliver. Sixth was the 5R Bill Roberts. Cole Finsky in the 21R was seventh. Eighth was Skylar Haroon in the 32H. Mark Winkle in the 7W was ninth, and credited with 10th that did not finish the 71 of Dennis Levine. Sport Mods. Your winner was the 01 of Brandon Carter. Second, 22 via Jared Vandenberg. Third was Tom Bowling in the 14B. Fourth was the 55 of Dustin Griffiths. Fifth was the 17 of Trey Rock. Sixth, Sean Wyatt in the 12S. Seventh, the 117 of Dylan Van Wyk. Eighth, the 75 Joe Roller. Ninth was Quentin Shelton in 54. Grady Jones in the 55J was 10th. 11th was Ryan Dodd in the 15. The wrestler did not finish his 12th. Kevin Week in the 666. Levi Lehman in the 10 was 13th, and 14th the 00 Matt Tucker. Stock cars, your winner was the 1X of Caden Carter. Second, 10G Justin Griffiths. Third, the 05 of John Oliver. Fourth, the 30M of McGuire DeYoung. Fifth, the 21M of Kurt Kensley. Shane Richardson in the 57 was sixth. Seventh, Corey Saucerman in the C4 was seventh. Eighth, the 33 of Trenton Wett. Ninth, the 12 of Chad Krogmeyer. 10th, Austin Stragi in the 14X. And the 11th, and did not finish, was Chuck Underwood in the 17U. In the mini haulers, the 95 of Brent Timmerman was your winner. Second, Cale Easley in the 4. Third, the 141 of Dwayne Ronner. Fourth, 43 Larry Hooper. Fifth, the Sheldon Brockett in 74. Sixth, the 01 of Roger Brockett. Seventh was Peyton Lane in the 99 or 89L. Dawson Trips in the 16 was eighth. The 82 Junior Tucker Bright was ninth. Randy Ronner in the 40R was 10th. Lawrence Lane in the 11L was 11th. 12th to 22X of Hayden Dazelle was 12th. And 13th and did not finish the 44T of Tasker Timmerman. Sport Compacts, your winner was the 2B of Dylan Boink. Second, 57 of Barry Taft. Third, the 48C of Chuck Follenkamp. Fourth, the 20C of Caleb Giese. Fifth, the 63 of Tim Snottenhorst. Sixth, the 23H of Alex Hayes. Bobby Douglas in the 63B was 7th. 8th, the 2X of TJ Weibels. 9th was Brandon Crawley in the 38. And credited with 10th and did not finish was Luke Frazee in the 9. Over at the Knoxville Raceway, we had 2 days of USAC action. We'll start with Friday night racing program, which featured the USACers and USAC and the 360s on the card, where they set a new track record in the USAC cart with the USAC, as it was CJ Larry in the 29 AZ set the new track record at an 18.442. Second to 20, the Dirt Racing Podcast driver Brady Bacon at an 18.523. Third was the 33P of RJ Johnson at an 18.719. Third was the 3R Kevin Thomas at an 18.804. Fifth was the 39 of Briggs Danner at an 18.550 or 850. Ninth or sixth was the 92 of Chase Stockton at 18.854. Jake Swanson in the 5T was 7th at an 18.918. 8th, the 19 AZ of Mitchell Moles was at an 18.949. 9th was the 4 Justin Grant, the Racing Podcast driver, at an 18.966. 10th was the 17X of Ryan Benall at 19.005. 11th, 66 Jane Rogers at 19.025. 12th to 93 of AJ Johnson at 19.041. 13th, the 2B of Kel Drake at 19.124. 12th, or the 12 of Robert Blue was 14th at 19.231. 15th was the 3P of Kyle Cummins at an 19.293. 16th was the 6th of Logan Calderwood at 19.299. 17th was the 57 of Logan Seavey at 19.311. 18th was the 21K of Kobe Simpson at an 19.438. 19th was the 11B of Wyatt Burks, or the 11W, excuse me, at 19.469. 20th was Carson Garrett in the 15 at 19.489. The 2 of Steve Sussex, it was 21st at 19.609. 22nd was the 47 of Charles Davis at 19.695. 23rd was the 4K of Kayla Rosell at 19,758. 24th to 19 of Hayden Reinbold at 19,845. 25th to 5G of Gunnar Setzer at 19,854. 26th was the 4X of Braden Carmwell at 19,866. 27th, the 75 of Glenn Saville at 22.28. 28th was 11B of Ben Woods at 23.72. 29th, the T4 Tyler Graves at 27.81. 30th was Vinny Ward at 21.036. And 31st, the N3 of Nicholas Mertz at a 23.286. Heat races. Heat race 1 went to Dustin Grant, second Cale Drake, third CJ Larry, fourth Briggs Danner, fifth and final transfer was CJ Larry. Or Logan Seavey, excuse me. Sixth was Gunnar Setzer, seventh Steve Sussex, eighth Tyler Graves. Heat race 2 went to Robert Ballou, second Brady Bacon, third Brian Benall, fourth Chase Stockton, fifth and final transfer was Charles Davis, sixth Cody Simpson, seventh Braden Carmwell, and eighth Vinny Ward. Heat race number 3 went to Kyle Cummings, second to Jake Swanson, third to RJ Johnson, fourth Jordan Rogers, fifth and final transfer Glenn Saville. The rest did not finish or did not start the heat. Credited with sixth, the 11W or the Wyatt Burks, seventh Kayla Roselle, and Nicholas Mertz did not start, credited with eighth. Heat race number 4 went to Carson Garrett, second to Kevin Thomas, third to Mitchell Moles, fourth Hayden Reinbold, fifth and final transfer Logan Calderwood. Sixth was RJ Johnson, and seventh Ben Woods. The B main went to Wyatt Berg, second Steve Sussex, third Gunnar Setzer. Kobe Simpson was the fourth and final transfer. Fifth was Braden Carmwell, sixth Tyler Graves, seventh Ben Woods. Kayla Roll was eighth, ninth Vinny Ward, and 10th and did not start was AJ Johnson, and Nicholas Mertz was credited with 11th. The feature, Brady Bacon was your winner, second Briggs Danner, third Chase Stockton, fourth Robert Ballou, fifth Justin Grant, sixth Cale Drake, seventh Kevin Thomas, eighth Kyle Cummins, ninth Ryan Benall, 10th Jake Swanson, 11th CJ Larry, 12th RJ Johnson, 13th Mitchell Moles, 14th Logan Seavey, 15th Ryan Burks, 15th Carson Garrett, or 16th Carson Garrett, 17th Garrett Setzer. Steve Sussex was 18th, 19th was Charles Davis, 20th Kobe Simpson, 21st Hayden Reinbold, 22nd Glenn Saville, 23rd Logan Calderwood, and 24th Jaden Rogers. Stockton led 1 through 20. Bacon led 21 through 25. Hard charger was Drake. In the 360s, there was 2 groups of time trials. Group 1, quick time was the 27 of Carson McCarl, Dirt Racing Podcast driver at 15.941. Second was the one Taz of Tasker Phillips at 15.950. Third was the 86 of Timothy Smith at 15.987. Fourth, 2014 Mac Terry McCarl, Dirt Racing Podcast driver at 16.012. Fifth was the 88 of Austin McCarl, Dirt Racing Podcast driver at 16.019. Sixth was 4W Jamie Ball at 16.023. Seventh was the 22 Ryan Levitt at a 16.025. Eighth was the 09 of Matt Jewell at 16.028. Ninth, 44 Chris Martin at a 16.044. 10th was Thomas Meserol on the 01, a dirt racing podcast driver, at a 16.050. 11th was the 77X of Alex Hill at a 16.132. 12th, the 22X of Riley Goodnow at 16.146. 13th was Kurt Mueller in the 83 at 16.264. 14th was the 40 of Clint Gardner at 16.267. 15th, the 21 at Cam Swirls at 16.286. 16th was the 17B of Ryan Bickett at 16.319. 17th was the 4G of Cole Gardner at a 16.339. 18th was the 6 of Dustin Salvage at a 16.386. 19th, 11B of Kaylee Bryson at a 16.887. 20th was the 1A of John Anderson at 17.044. 21st, the 38 of Logan Alexander at 17.076. 22nd, the 03 Shaylee Bade at 17.168. And 23rd, the 31 of McLean Richards at 17.726. Group 2. Quick time was the 10 of Ryan Timms at a 15.765. Second, 55, the Madman Kerry Matson at a 15.5 or 8.15. Third, the 4 Cam Martin at a 15.922. Fourth, the 27W of Emerson Axum at 16.001. Fifth was the 2M of Ryan Giles at a 16.046. Sixth, 63 of JJ Hinkle at 16.188. Seventh, the 99 of Tony Ross at a 16.200. Eighth, the 3P of Sawyer Phillips at a 16.226. Ninth was the 71, the law firm Parker Price Miller at a 16.243. 10th was the 17 of Tyler Grudike at 16.253. 11th was the 17A of Jack Anderson at a 16.293. 12th was the 23W Scott Winters at a 16.370. 13th, the 5W Lucas Wolf at a 16.549. 14th, the 24 KH of Kate Higday at a 16.572. 15th, the 5A of Alex Vandervoort at a 16.670. 16th, the 14 of Aiden Zoot at a 16.723. 17th, the 33 of Alan Zoot at a 16.770. 18th was the 3-year-old Russell Potter at a 16.946. 19th was the 4J Tuesday Calderwood at a 17.079. 20th was the 13G of Gage Walden at a 17.115. 21st, the T4 Tyler Graves at 18.197. And 22nd, the 32 of Riley Valentine at an 18.985. Heat race 1 went to Alex Hill, second Chris Martin, third Austin McCarl, fourth Carson McCarl, fifth Timothy Six, sixth Ryan Levitt, seventh Kurt Mueller, eighth Cole Gardner, ninth Cam Swirls, 10th Kylie Bryson. Logan Alexander was 11th, and 12th McLean Richards. He race 2 went to Riley Goodnow, second Tasker Phillips, third Jamie Ball, fourth Matt Jewell, fifth Thomas Meserol, sixth Terry McCarl, seventh Clint Gardner, eighth Ryan Bickett, ninth Dustin Salvage, 10th Shaylee Bay, and 11th John Anderson. Heat race number 3 went to Jack Anderson. Parker Price Miller was second, third Ryan Giles, fourth Ryan Timms, fifth Cam Martin, sixth Tony Ross, seventh Tuesday Calderwood, eighth Lucas Wolf, ninth Alex Vandervoort, 10th Alan Zoot, and 11th Tyler Graves. He race 4 went to Kerry Matson. Second went to Tyler Grundike. Third, JJ Hinkle. Fourth, Emerson Axum. 5th, Scott Winter. 6th, Sawyer Phillips. 7th, Cade Higday. 8th, Gage Weldon. 9th, Alan Zoo. 10th, Russell Potter. And 11th, Riley Valentine. B main number 1 only took 2 to the feature. Picking up the win was Clint Gardner. Second and final transfer was Ryan Levitt. Third was Ryan Bickett. 4th, Dustin Salvage. 5th, Thomas All. 6th, Cole Gardner. 7th, Kurt Mueller. 8th, Cam Swirls. 9th, Shaylee Bay. 10th, Kaylee Bryson. 11th, Logan Alexander. 12th, John Anderson. And 13th, McLean Richards. B main number 2 went to Sawyer Phillips. Second, final transfer, Cade Higday. Third, Scott Winters. 4th, Lucas Wolf. 5th, Alexander Ward. 6th, Gage Weldon. 7th, Tuesday Calderwood. 8th, Aiden Zoot. 9th, Alan Zoot. 10th, Tyler Graves. 11th, Riley Valentine. And did not start credit with 12th was Russell Potter. In the feature, your winner was Ryan Tim. Second, Austin McCarl. Third, Carson McCarl. 4th, Kerry Matson. 5th, Tasker Phillips. 6th, Ryan Giles. 7th, Emerson Axum. 8th, Parker Price Miller. 9th, J.J. Hinkle. 10th, Chris Martin. 11th, Jamie Ball. 12th, Timothy Smith. 13th, Alex Hill. 14th, Riley Goodnow. 15th, Terry McCarl. 16th, Matt Jewell. 17th, Clint Gardner. 18th, Cam Martin. 19th, Jack Anderson. 20th, Tyler Grundyke. 21st, Ryan Levitt. 22nd, Cade Higday. 23rd, Tony Ross. And credited with 24th and did not start was Sawyer Phillips. Tim's led all the way 1 through 18. Our Charger was Price Miller. On Saturday night, the 410 wing cars joined the action. But we'll start with of course, the USAC cars first. Picking up the quick time was 18 AZ of Mitchell Moles and 18.868. Second, the 2 Justin Grant, Dirt Racing Podcast driver in the 4 at an 18.994. Third was 20 Brady Bacon and Dirt Racing Podcast driver at 19.010. Fourth, the 3R Kevin Thomas at 19.019. Fifth was the 21 AZ of CJ Larry at a 19.056. Was a 5T of Jake Swanson at 19.178. Seventh, the 12 of Robert Ballou at 19.186. Eighth, the 92 Chase Stockton, 19.189. Ninth, the 39 of Briggs Danner at 19.227. 10th, the 6 of Logan Calderwood at 351. 11th was the 19 of Hayden Reimel at 19.363. 12th to 57 Logan Seavey at 19.373. 13th was the 47 of Charles Davis at 19.376. 14th to 17X of Ryan Benall at 19.377. 15th was AJ Johnson in the 93 at 19.384. 16th was the 3P of Kyle Cummins at 19.439. 17th was the 3P or the 33P of RJ Johnson at 19.581. 18th was Kobe Simpson, the 21K, at 19.599. 19th, the 2B of Kel Drake, the 19.691. 20th, the 5G of Gunnar Setzer at 19.783. 21st was the 2C Sussex at 19.792. 22nd, the 4X of Braden Cromwell at 19.961. 23rd, the 44 of Wesley Smith at 20.026. 24th, the 15 of Carson Garrett at 20.029. 25th, the 11W Wyatt Burks at 20.100. 26th, the 11B of Ben Woods at 21:42. 27th, the 66 of Jaden Rogers at 21:93. 28th, the 4K of Kayla Roselle at a 24:37. 29th was the T4 Tyler Graves at 25:43. 30th was the 75 of Glenn Saville at 28:74. And 21st, the 15E of Dakota Earls at 21:342. He race 1 went to CJ Larry, second RJ Johnson, third Wyatt Burks, fourth Mitchell Moles, fifth and final transfer was Briggs Danner, sixth Steve Sussex, seventh Charles Davis, and eighth Tyler Graves. Heat race number 2 went to Ryan Bernal, second Jake Sultan, third Justin Grant, fourth Braden Cromwell, fifth and final transfer Logan Calderwood, sixth was Cody Simpson, seventh Ben Woods, and credited with eighth was Glenn Saville. Did not start. He race number 3 went to Kel Drake, second Robert Ballou, third Brady Bacon, fourth Jaden Rogers, fifth and final transfer AJ Johnson. Sixth was Wesley Smith, seventh Hayden Reinbolt, and eighth Dakota Earls. Heat race number 4 went to Gunnar Setzer, second CJ Larry, third Kevin Thomas, fourth Carson Garrett, and fifth and final transfer was Kyle Cummins. Sixth was Chase Stockton, seventh Kayla Roselle. The B main picking up the win was Chase Stockton, second Kobe Simpson, third Hayden Reinbolt, fourth and final transfer Charles Davis. Fifth was Ben Woods, sixth Wesley Smith, Steve Sussex, seventh, eighth Kayla Roselle, ninth Dakota Earls, 10th Tyler Graves, and credited with 11th and did not start was Glenn Saville. In the feature, your winner was Kevin Thomas, second Ryan Bernal, third Kyle Cummins, fourth Justin Grant, fifth Gunnar Setzer, sixth Chase Stockton, seventh Logan Seavey, eighth Robert Ballou, ninth Briggs Danner, 10th Mitchell Moles, 11th Jake Swanson, 12th Logan Calderwood, 13th RJ Johnson, 14th Wyatt Burks, 15th Charles Davis, 16th Carson Garrett, 17th Heather Hayden Reinbolt, 18th Kobe Simpson, 19th Brandon Cromwell, 20th Kale Drake, 21st CJ Larry, 22nd Brady Bacon, 23rd AJ Johnson, and 24th Jaden Rogers. Swanson led 1 through 7. Thomas led 8 through 30. The hard charger was Cummins. In the wing 410s, there was 2 groups of qualifying. Picking up the quick time in the $100 from Open Wheel 101 was a 27W of Emerson Axum at a 15.406. Second was the Dirt Racing Podcast driver 27 Carson McCarl at a 15.544. Third was the 71X of the law firm Parker Price Miller at a 15.615. Fourth was the 4K Martin at 15.710. Fifth was T-Mac Terry McCarl, 24, the Racing Podcast driver at a 15.711. Sixth was the 22 Riley Gano at 15.759. Seventh, 3-piece Sawyer Phillips at a 15.766. Eighth was the 19H of Kevin Thomas at a 15.817. Ninth, the 1 at a 15.836. 10th, the 1K of Kobe Watt at a 15.844. 11th, the 6K of Caleb Johnson at a 15.856. 12th, the 1M of Don Dowd at a 15.860. 13th, the 09 of Matt Jewell at a 15.917. 14th was the 45X of Landon Crawley at 15.923. 15th, 121 of R.J. Johnson. At 16, 110. 16th was 11T of TJ Stutz at 16, 155. 17th, the 44X of Scotty Johnson at 16, 301. 18th, the 53 of Alex Attard at 16, 405. And 19th, the 7B of Ben Brown at 17, 443. Group 2 quick time went to the 88 of Austin McCarl, the racing podcast driver, at a 15, 499. Second was Scott Boguski in the 78 at a 15, 516. Third was 21 of Brian Brown at a 15, 638. Fourth was the 55 Kerry Matson at a 15, 652. Fifth, the 10 of Ryan Timms at a 15, 654. Sixth was the 5W Lucas Wolf at a 15, 728. Seventh, the 39 Lynn Jeffrey at a 15, 784. Eighth, the 2M of JJ Hankel at a 15, 860. Ninth was the 17A of Jack Anderson at a 15, 943. 10th, the 3 of Ayrton Jansen, Dirt Racing Podcatcher at 15, 994. 11th was 44 Chris Martin at a 16, 060. Well, the 39M of Anthony Macri at a 16, 082. 13th, 4W Jamie Ball at 16, 107. 14th, the 21H of Brady Bacon, the Dirt Racing Podcast driver, at 16, 292. 15th, the 31 of Kyle Bellum at 16, 427. 16th, the 15 junior Cole Meitzer, the racing podcast driver, at 16, 614. 17th, the 8H of Jacob Hughes at a 16, 646. 18th, the 65 of Jordan Goldsberry at a 16, 673. 19th was the 71 of Brandon Warrington at 16, 823. Heat race 1 went to Caleb Johnson, second Tasker Phillips, third Sawyer Phillips, fourth Terry McCarl, fifth Emerson Axum, sixth Matt Joel, seventh Ben Brown, eighth Scotty Johnson, ninth R.J. Johnson, credited with 10th was Parker Price Miller. In Heat race 2 went to Don Dowd, second to Radley Goodnow, third Kobe Watt, fourth Carson McCarl, fifth Kevin Thomas, sixth Cam Martin, seventh Landon Crawley, eighth TJ Stutz, and ninth Alex Attard. Heat race number 3 went to Chris Martin, second Ryan Timms, third Jack Anderson, fourth Brian Brown, fifth Austin McCarl, sixth Lynn Jeffrey, seventh Ryan Bellum, eighth Jacob Hughes, ninth Jamie Ball, and credited with 10th was Brandon Worthington. Heat race number 4 went to Anthony Macri, second JJ Hankel, third Scott Boguski, fourth Brady Bacon, fifth Kerry Matson, sixth Lucas Wells, seventh Aaron Tajenton, eighth Cole Meitzer, and ninth Jordan Goldsberry. In the B main, your winner was Lynn Jeffries, second Brady Bacon, third Kevin Thomas, fourth and final transfer Aaron Tajenton. Fifth was Landon Crawley, sixth Matt Joel, seventh Kyle Bellum, eighth Ben Brown, ninth Jamie Ball, 10th Cole Meitzer, 11th Jacob Hughes, 12th Alex Attard, 13th Scotty Johnson, 14th TJ Stutz, 15th RJ Johnson, 16th Jordan Goldsberry. Did not start credited with 17th Parker Price Miller, and 18th was Brandon Worthington. In the feature, your winner was Ryan Timms, second Austin McCarl, third Scott Boguski, fourth Kerry Matson, fifth Carson McCarl, sixth Brian Brown, seventh Caleb Johnson, eighth Emerson Axum, ninth Terry McCarl, 10th Kobe Watt, 11th J.J. Henkel, 13th Ayrton Jansen, 14th Riley Goodnow, 15th Brady Bacon, 16th Cam Martin, 17th Chris Martin, 17th Jack Anderson, 18th Lynn Jeffrey, 19th, Kevin Thomas. 20th, Lucas Wolf. 21st, Sawyer Phillips. 22nd, Don Dowd. 23rd, Tasker Phillips. And 24th, Anthony Macri. Axon led lap 1. Carson McCall 2-4. Austin McCall 5-8. Timms 9-20. The hard charger was Janeten. Last night at the Southern Iowa Speedway, we'll start with the Sport Mods. Picking up the win was the 15K Kyle Harwood. Second, 29 Colton Lizzie. Third was the 7W Will Wolf. Fourth, the 8T of Tony Johnson. Fifth, Jason Van Zomeren in the 3Z. Sixth was the 55B of Stephen Barry. And credited with seventh and did not start was 24 Chase Johnson. In the non-wing sprint cars, picking up the win was the T4 Tyler Graves. Second, 3T Mike Gray. Third, Terry Dodd in the 2. Fourth, the 1W of Frank Tharp and Nicholas Mertz. And the N3 was fifth. In the stock cars, picking up the win was Mike Hughes in the 85. Second, 52 Nathan Wood. Third, the 10G Justin Griffiths. Fourth, the 30M of McGuire DeYoung. Fifth, the 73 of Aaron Martin. Sixth, the 19 of Donnie Pearson. Seventh was Clinton Goff in 96. Eighth was 71X of Kason Keller. Ninth, the LB17 of Luke Byers. 10th, the 35 LJ of Lermy Jackson. 11th, the 19D of Everett Davis. And credited with 12th, it did not start, the 2 of John Watts. Hobby stocks, your winner was the 7 Keaton Gordon. Second, the 18 Chris Walker. Third, the 22 James Pelkington. Jeremy Dooley in the 91 was fourth. Fifth, the 1R Rick Van Dusseldorp. Sixth, Jake Seitzma in the 88J. Seventh, the 24K of Jamie Kent. Eighth, the 10D of Justin Griffith. Ninth, the 14X of Rob Hemrick. 10th, the 52B of Braden Wood. In the Sport Compacts, your winner was the 2K Caitlin Watts. Second, 65 Seth Minders. Third, the 7 Brandon Pickney. Fourth, the 15 Clayton Repser. Fifth, the 1Z of Colton Zapinal. Sixth, Kyle Resnam in 18A. Seventh, the 7M of Matt Moore. And eighth, the 83 of Jake Minders. Upcoming racing action for this weekend, starting tomorrow night. At Marshalltown will be your normal classes of modified, sport mods, hobby stock, stock car, mod lights, and sport compacts. Over at the Hancock County Speedway, it will be your normal classes of modified, sport mods, stock cars, IMCA hobby stocks, and the Outlaw hobby stocks. Over at the CJ Raceway, your normal classes of IMCA modified, stock cars, sport mod, and hobby stocks. Saturday night over at the 34 Raceway will be racing action with the 305 Sprints, modified sport mods, stock cars, sport compacts, and late models. Over at the Knoxville Raceway, all 3 classes will be in racing action of 410s, 360, and the Pro Sprints. And then next Wednesday, the Wednesday night, at the Southern Iowa Speedway, your normal classes of sport mod, non-wing sprint cars, hobby stock, stock cars, and sport compacts. That will wrap it up for this week's show. We'll see you next week. And be sure to go to your local track if possible.
Thank you for listening to the Dirt Racing Podcast with Marshall Hain. Follow us on Twitter at dirt_podcast or on Facebook at the Dirt Racing Podcast.